Hello. Hey now. I only don't know how to count down from 3 to 1 as I'm properly instructed. My problem, not yours. Happy Friday. I'm in a pretty good place today, running pretty pure this week. All things coming up me. 1 week until Christmas here. Geoff Fienberg show, Friday afternoon edition. Hanukkah's over. And I assume, like most Jews, I get total Christmas envy. Christmas rocks. Like people who can play the whole like 8 days thing with Hanukkah doesn't really work like that. Like, yes, it lasts for 8 days, but like Christmas, you sort of congregate on a couple of them. As a child, I didn't get 8 presents. Like I didn't come home to a present a day. I have a 4-year-old now, so like literally something like a Kinder egg she would consider a present. So it's kind of just easy at that point, but I don't plan on giving my kids a present a day. You get like a Hanukkah present, maybe two, a few, like Christmas. But Christmas and the lights and I don't know, the songs. I'm always Christmas envy. I'm always Christmas envy. So 1 week out till Christmas. Hope everybody is gearing up. I'm sure, like the rest of you, I am waiting on packages from USPS, Canada Post, FedEx, UPS, you name it. I'm always looking, tracking. Finally got some life today on some things that have literally stalled. Things that did not move, did not update for about 2 weeks. It's just good to see that they've entered Canada or where they need to go. But like you, I've heard horror stories. I sent something out to my buddy out in Winnipeg, which it's one province over, one state over, as you would say. It's taken over 2.5 weeks. And I paid good money to get that thing there. Unbelievable. Chill. Love all the postal workers. I'm just saying, like you, I'm tracking my packages. Like I'm tracking my fantasy football playoffs. I hope you are still in yours. I'm certainly smiling after a hot start to my home league semifinals. Herbert Hunter Henry combo. I told you on Wednesday I would be investing in Hunter Henry. It rarely works out. Last night it absolutely did work out for me and hopefully you. Prize Picks, prizepicks.com, promo code FTN, 100% instant match bonus up to $100. I have a Prize Picks 2-man, 2-entry power play for tomorrow. I could get a little more sloppy once I break down, or ask my friends who do the MMA and a lot of the other fun stuff. We can make some multi-sport. I did keep an eye on Prize Picks, see if they had the stones to put up a Charlie Woods number. Guess that didn't happen. I'm joking. Charlie's 11 years old. It's not normal to want to watch him warm up, but that's what I do. Prize Picks, prizepicks.com, promo code FTN. Looking at the full slate of NFL football. I'm sure I'll make a couple power plays over the weekend, but for now, I've got a 2-man power play involving both games tomorrow on Saturday. I am taking Drew Lock to clear his number, friends. It is a projection of 17.5. I think the Bills will win. I think the Bills will be fine. I think the Bills, maybe Denver backdoors, covers the spread, what have you. But I do think over 4 quarters, I believe Lock will get the nibbles to clear his 17.5 projection over the course of the game. Buffalo, after amazing performances in primetime, and technically this Saturday game, while it's a 4 o'clock in the middle of Saturday, you're playing by yourself on an NFL schedule. You could call that primetime technically, right? So the Bills 3 in a row, love affair with the Mafia. I'll be rooting for you guys, but I think Drew Lock clears that 17.5 point projection. Going to the later game, you're playing the MVP and Aaron Rodgers. You're going to have to keep up. You're going to have to score. I am expecting DJ Moore to clear his 13-point projection. Was on the COVID list. He is now off of it. He battled I don't know how badly he was hurt from the ankle injury. It didn't seem like it was too serious, but being on the COVID list will allow that to have healed up as he had last week off. I think he's going to have a real strong game tomorrow. He's going to clear that 13-point projection. So that's what I'm working with now. DJ Moore over 13 and Drew Lock over 17 and a half. Tempted by some other situations. Really curious how Josh Allen is going to play tomorrow. I expect him to play well from a fantasy perspective, not in my home league, but in some other leagues, even in some DFS. Just those two amazing primetime games for the Bills. Now they come here, play Denver. Denver, it's hard. You never really know what you're going to get from that Bronco defense because they can be real stymie, hold you to field goals, keep that score technically low, or they can get run. And Allen is so good, and they don't run the ball that effectively in Buffalo. And Daboll is so good at scheming these wide receivers open. And from Diggs to Beasley to Gabriel Davis, it seems like they got the total package going there in Buffalo. I'm going to talk more about Bills Broncos later on. We'll sort of get through the entire week 15 slate. Well, certainly not the entirety of it, but the games that interest me, I'll be looking at. But Drew Lock over 17.5, DJ Moore over 13. You get in there, you add a MAC championship, college football, college basketball, NBA preseason, soccer, UFC fights happening, multi-sport tickets. You don't even have any, you just one guy in each sport. When there's the golf going on, I like to mix those up with my football picks. I don't pretend to know anything really about the UFC, but when people tell me what I should do and I trust them, I'm always happy to throw them on the prizepicks.com power play promo code FTN 100% instant match bonus up to $100. I'm still amazed at how easy the interface on Prize Picks is to sort of jump around from league to league and make your multi-sport power play. Before I came on, I watched Anthony Lynn's presser from last night. I guess I didn't get around to it yesterday. Late game. I was maybe saving it for myself today. The guy is out of his mind. I'll debrief the Charger game in a second. Or by a second, I mean right now. We'll debrief the Charger game right now. Throw your questions in both the chats, the Twitter chat, or the ftndaily.com chat, wherever you are watching. I'll be alone today with you for the hour, so happy to answer any of your Week 15 fantasy questions or anything you want to throw at me here. Before I break down the Charger game, I will say the two picks I gave for the father-son shootout, the odds have really plummeted. It seems like Little John and Big John Daly are quite a popular pick. I believe we had them flirting at about 14, 16 to 1. I've seen them crash down to about 8 to 1. And the Laymans, which I think we were touting on Wednesday at 12 or 14 to 1, are now down to 7 to 1. Those are the picks that I am making. Very small recreational plays here when it comes to the golf. If it's going well, I'll watch. Maybe I'll watch a little. I mean, Tiger's playing with Charlie. I'm going to watch. Is that weird? I don't think it's weird. The swing, it's really not normal how much I enjoyed watching him warm up and observing the mannerisms that were I don't want to say viral, but they got out there quite a bit yesterday. How identical some of his post-swing mannerisms are to his father. It'd be awesome if Charlie's a gamer. I don't know if I can handle that, but that would be amazing. Anyway, father-son challenge. My money is on the Dailies and the Laymans. Those numbers have crashed a little bit. I don't really know much of anything. I've just been told that the guy who's the best 10, 15-foot putter. I'm not even fully familiarized with the rules, to be perfectly honest. As I said, incredibly recreational. Didn't have recreational plays on the Chargers last night. Cashed that in a bunch of ways. Money line, spread, Hunter Henry first touchdown, Hunter Henry anytime touchdown, Tyler Johnson anytime touchdown. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's amazing we had to sweat that game out, even in the slightest. That's so embarrassing. That should have been a stress-free from a gambling perspective, but that game goes to overtime. The Raiders are in a red zone. You think you're going to lose your 3.5s? That'd have been really freaking annoying. Really freaking annoying. I like that they won the game. Normally, I'm all gung ho on the draft pick. I'm not playing both sides here. I think there's dynamics that pull me in both directions. Herbert having game-winning drives is valuable. It looks nice. It feels good. It's important to have one or two of those in a rookie season to be excited about. We did it last week. We did it again this week. On the other hand, I'm worried any win helps Anthony Lynn save his job. A couple things that can work against that, I would argue, is we won the game again. He still looked like a complete doofus. Winning, while Lynn looks like a doofus, feels, I guess, a success as long as the organization sees what I see, what you see, what everyone sees, what the Twitter mob sees. It's too obvious at this point. It's too obvious. Like the goodwill of Herbert is completely overshadowed by his buffoonery. It's not right. It's not fair. I am deathly afraid that we run the table. They play Denver next week. I don't know. Denver, I mean, it's not in Denver, so like the Chargers don't have to play in a blizzard. Sure, they could lose the game. They could win the game. It's a winnable game. That's all I'm saying. I'm not predicting the win. I don't even know what an advanced line is. I don't even care. I'm just saying it's a winnable game. And then they play the Chiefs week 17. But that could be completely meaningless for the Chiefs. That could be completely meaningless for the Chiefs. And then the Chargers can finish 7-9. In a perfect world, they don't win again. We've just had 2 game-winning drives with the kid. Let's pretty much do what we always do. Lose. Herbert looks good. We embarrass ourselves. We fire the coach. Going to 7-9, falling to like the 14th pick, 15th pick in the draft, retaining Anthony Lynn. Nothing could be worse. Nothing could be worse. So let me recite this to you. If you watched the game yesterday, you were probably familiar with the situation I'm about to speak to. Before Daniel Popper from The Athletic, who hopefully one day I'll get to join us. Shout out to Gilbert Manzano. We didn't scare him away. I didn't scare him away. We had a nice conversation. I'm sure we'll do it again. That was a lot of fun. I enjoy it. We'll be out of Chargers Radio in 1 minute. I'm just recapping for myself, and I just watched that Lynn presser before we came on, so I'm still spinning about something. Gilbert asked if Badgley still has a job. Lynn's giving Badgley his job. Because I'll tell you exactly why. This amazing kicker, Young Ho Koo, what have you, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, on Atlanta, who's killing it. Well, guess where he was before? He was a Charger. Guess what he did in his first game? I think he missed a kick that would have sent us to overtime versus the Broncos. And in the second game, he missed a kick that would have won us the game at the buzzer versus the Dolphins. So he was cut. Now he has found himself, and he is one of the best kickers in the league. Josh Lambo missed a game-winning kick versus the Raiders. Young guy, we cut him. Turns out to be one of the best kickers in the league for the last couple years. I think he's been hurt all of this year, but inside football, like the Jaguar, he's been incredibly good from long. The Chargers cut him. He was good. So now we have this guy Badgley. We finally thought he was good. His nickname is the Money Badger. What a clown. He's missed the most kicks in the league this year, and we're just keeping him around. Because Lynn is so goddamn probably afraid of his own fucking shadow. Because we'll cut this guy and someone will give him a chance because he was pretty good for the 2 years before this. And then he'll have a job again, hitting kicks. It's all really goddamn annoying. Popper asks Lynn from The Athletic, before Badgley's second miss, you called a timeout. Before Badgley's second miss, you called it a timeout. You called a timeout. Lynn responds to that as, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You're not sure what he's talking about? The game-winning 50-yard kick? That was 3 minutes after the go-ahead 45-yard kick he missed? You know what we're talking about? The Chargers make me sad. The Chargers make me disappointed. A lot. Always. You don't have to believe me. But anger, a lot of the times on the podcast I do with Pat, you guys, and I see why as I present myself. My passion is mistaken for anger. But I'm truly not angry. I'm not an angry person. Anthony Lynn makes me angry. I'm not sad. I'm not disappointed. I'm angry. Normally with the Chargers, with Phillip, with the fuck-ups, with everything, all the other stupid shit we've always done. Sad disappointment. But like a raging anger doesn't come. This guy doesn't know what happened 10 minutes ago with the game on the line. He called a timeout. Let's talk about that timeout for a second. He iced his goddamn kicker. Badgley needs another 2 minutes to think about a kick. I know what you're saying. It was like late. You run the clock as far as possible. If it's like Justin Tucker or Buddy in Kansas City or one of your really good kickers, I get that. They could probably handle that. And the coach might value that 1 second more. But if your kicker is where this kicker is, you leave the Raiders 1 extra second to not make the guy think about it for 2 extra fucking minutes, you doofus. And he doesn't even know what we're talking about. I make my Sean McVay jokes. I think it's embarrassing how people went nuts that he can name everyone at the podium. I know I keep going back to this. That's whatever. I don't think Lynn could name every fucking player he's up against. Starters. That's a goddamn starter. And I love the tweet going on from Draft Sheet last night, pretty much questioning if Lynn knew the game could even end in a tie in overtime. That's legitimately probably a fair freaking question. But this Sean McVay, I keep talking about it, but I got a coach that doesn't know 6 minutes ago. McVay can recite a 3rd and 4 from his own 34 from a game 6 years ago. He could tell you exactly what happened. And I don't need that. I'm not expecting that, but there's just a level of competency. The goddamn Rams have never blown a halftime lead under that guy. Like, they're just freaking prepared. I mean, there's Sean McVay. I'm not even saying he's my favorite coach. I'm just using him as an example because it's polarizing. And I'm sure other coaches can do everything McVay does from a recall standpoint. Like most of them. But I'm certain one couldn't. They won. And I did good for myself. I shouldn't be this angry. But I got to hear that. I got to hear my coach say, what are you talking about? When a reporter asks him about calling a timeout that ices his own kicker with 40, 50 seconds left in a goddamn football game where that kick can win the game. I was like, the benefit of the doubt, if you want to be the beat reporter that asks about like a minutia moment in the game, I can respect like instantly the coach might not be able to recall what you're talking about. That's I probably would be able to recall it because I can remember every play. You ask me about him, I'll remember him, at least from fucking yesterday. But not the moments that are deciding the game. I like my hat. I like this winter hat. I like what they've done with the sideline winter gear. Let me look at the chat. Is anyone talking to me? No, not a ton. Chargers are in a fine cap situation, Mizzle Fry. They have a rookie contract. There aren't very many bad contracts on the team. I don't think there's what people would refer to as a bad contract on the team. There's money to do whatever they want. Do they have like insane amount of cap room? No, but there's money to make the moves to do whatever they want. And there's probably money that's going to be freed up. At this point, I don't see Casey Hayward keeping his salary. All right, more questions. Hunter asks, in a Chief stack, bring back this Sunday. Would you like Emmanuel Sanders or Traquan Smith? Emmanuel. I'd pick Emmanuel Sanders if you're asking me. That's who I would pick. Yeah. So that was that. What a special man. Okay. We're out of it. Those are my thoughts. Herbert looked great. You all talking me, telling me how great he looks, showing me the numbers. Sorry. I mean, does he feel like he's passing out a 3rd and long all game? I mean, run again on 1st down. Be more predictable. The fat slob on his couch in Toronto knows. I'm sure the team's coordinators on the other teams know. The 3rd down passing stats, Herbert's passing under pressure stats. That's what I'm talking about. Made a lot of nice throws last night. A lot of throws a lot of guys in the league can make, I'm sure. I could keep going, but I don't want to. Buffalo, Denver, I am going to take the Bills. Interesting game, though. Is this a letdown spot for the Bills? Primetime versus Monday Night Football versus 49ers. Look amazing. Sunday Night Football versus the Steelers. Look amazing. Here they are versus the Broncos. As I mentioned on my Prize Picks Power Play, I'll break it down again later in the show, but I do like Drew Lock to clear his 17.5 point projection in that one. People really think Lynn's going to keep his job. I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid. Sorry, you see me, I keep like going to my face a lot. This is probably as long as I've ever had facial hair. I'm just a lazy guy at home. What do you think? I don't know. I got to get rid of it. But now I'm thinking like not to shave, not to do anything. Because his hair's going to go. So like just volumize it. Well, I have it for another... Shit, it could be 2.5 weeks, right? 2.5 weeks. I mean, we know protocol. We know league protocol. This ain't new. Lynn is not being fired before week 17. Like, that's a fact. If he's fired at all, scared to death. Not being fired before the end of the season. So the season ends on the Sunday, and then you either find out, if you don't know by Monday, we could really just come in wild card weekend and shave my fucking head. I'd like to get my person involved. Yes, one person cuts my hair. I don't go different places, and one person's cut it for one time. We have a great rapport. Sorry, I'm not there to yuck it up. I'm probably staring at my phone. But Just know how I like it. So that's what I mean by rapport. All you got to know is the season and how I like it, and we're fine. Having no hair in Canada for January and February. Like, we're not going 0, but we're going to go like low, like 1, like 1.5. Like people think I'm going to straight bick. You got another thing coming. But we can be like first day in the army sort of shit. Or like half a level up from that. No, I guess that's pretty big first day in the army. Like really low, a buzz cut, an absolute buzz cut. An absolute buzz cut, but not a Beck. Not a Beck. Not a Beck. I'm pretty sure I clarified that earlier, but I'm not a Beck. Not a Beck. Yeah, like if you don't fire your coach by the Monday after the season, Tuesday, I could come into that Tuesday recording with Pat for wildcard weekend. We could just shave the head. Right? You either fire the coach by Monday or the organization, GM, ownership, whatever, announces it publicly that we are retaining the coach. You don't get like left in waiting. It's either you're fired or there's a public announcement that no, the coach will be back. And this is week set 15. Yeah. So 2 weeks, pretty much Tuesday. I probably shouldn't shave again. But the thing is, Pat and I are going to record a bunch of content, some really fun season preview golf stuff, our golf fantasy draft. I want to be clean, fresh. I want to look. Yeah. Whatever. I'm just talking to myself now. Respected people are telling me my coach could be back. Buffalo, Denver. I think I said on the show I'm laying the 6. But I didn't bet it then. And if I am going to bet it, I am going to take Buffalo. I'm a sucker. I think Josh Allen is that good. I think Josh Allen is that good. And when Milano and Trayman Edmonds are playing in Buffalo, it's an elite linebacker core that causes havoc. We know they got a shutdown receiver. Carolina, Green Bay. I actually lean Carolina to keep this game backdoor, close, 1 score. I lean Carolina. And to follow up on my Drew Lock Power Prize Picks selection for tomorrow, I'll be having a DJ Moore over 13-point projection. DJ off the COVID list. I think he can have a fun little Sunday. Saturday evening. These games are going directly head-to-head with college football, are they not? Don't mind me, we're live. I'm just yawning. Don't mean to bore you as I'm boring myself, apparently. I'm actually having a good time. I got a WD-40 my stool or something because I can't get calm. Far too antsy. Carolina, I think they'll be able to keep pace to a certain extent, take advantage of the few weaknesses on Green Bay to keep that a relatively close game. Tennessee, in my opinion, will throttle Detroit. I was on Tennessee on the original numbers. Not really sure how much it might have changed since Stafford was announced, or I don't think they've made the formal announcement there. Yeah, I think they have. Stafford is out of that one. I like Tennessee. Derrick Henry's going to get, 30 carries? He's going to absolutely dominate. I'm going to pay the price for Derrick Henry in DFS this week. $9,500 on DraftKings. The Lions gave up a ton of fantasy points to running backs all year. Second most fantasy points to running backs in the NFL. The Titans can win when they can bully teams, and this is going to be a bully fest, in my opinion. Henry's not on an unrealistic pace to get to 2,000 yards, which would be interesting. I don't know that would get him into the MVP discussion. It could probably score him an MVP vote or two. But Henry's averaging 24 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown and a half in his last 4 games. So I'm all in on Derrick Henry this week in pretty much any format you could imagine. And I do believe the Titans are going to mop Detroit in that game. Titteron Mike says he thought it was all the OC's fault. What are we talking about now? Lynn in the field goal? I don't know. What was the OC? What would be the OC? I mean, the 3rd and 1 call was atrocious. And Herbert's got to be smarter than that. He's got to throw the ball away. But I'm not sure what part of the game you're telling me is was the OC's fault. The OC sucks. I agree with that. But Lynn not icing his own kicker? I don't think that's the OC's fault. Unless we could be talking about something else entirely as well. You could be asking the questions and I could be like Lynn at the press conference, literally having no idea what I said 6 minutes ago or what I did 10 minutes ago. That's what I do feel like at the moment, sadly. Let's see what's going on here, Justin. 2 things. Not trying to guess from Justin. Happy Friday. Yes, Friday. Great time. Not trying to gas you up on Herbert, but that throw you said was a bad throw in OT. I actually think was a really good throw. Pressure in his face, couldn't step into it. Really impressive. You know what, Justin? When I've had a few too many and it was a stressful day, I just wanted that touchdown. And it did in live seem underthrown. But you are absolutely right, friend. You're absolutely right. Gas up those tires because it was a great throw. To get it there, he didn't have the full motion. That was a 50-yard completion with a half flick that he couldn't step into with the pressure in his face. Complete 180. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, it was that to set up the game-winning touchdown. Tim had taken a shot on Twitter that it was a underthrown ball. And I guess agreed with Tim, pointing out that here's me in my group chat with my friends saying it was a bad throw. It wasn't a bad throw. You're an insane person, Tim. Yes. What's wrong with you, Fienberg? Lots. I just wanted the game over. I mean, you saw how hard it was for us to score the touchdown. Herbert fumbled on the first sneak. Like, the game is never over with us. We're fun. Like, you all thought about that. Oh, the Chargers are 1st and goal on the 2? Watch how interesting this is going to be. We certainly made it interesting. So, Justin, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Good throw. I've watched it a couple times on replay. The fact it got there. Great throw. Great throw. Chadley's asking me, giving me props on that first TD bet. Thank you. Herbert had 1 TD pass attempt in the 4th quarter. 1 on a night he was absolutely cooking. 1. Insanity. Now, the Raiders had like a 10-minute scoring drive, which was insane. They converted all those like 4th and shorts. Mariota's son was doing a great job. Big fan of Mariota. What a takeaway from last night too, right? The Raiders still own him for next year. You know what I mean, own him. He's under contract. I think it was a 2-year, $15 million deal. But maybe they can get, I don't know, some draft compensation. I don't know if they've been impressed with Carr enough this year. I don't know. I mean, maybe you just want to keep the backup quarterback. But it was a great game for Mariota in a showcase to I deserve a chance to have a chance. So yeah, he did a great little thing for himself last night. I'm excited for him. I liked him. I liked him out of college. I liked him when the Titans drafted him. I understand why they felt they had to move on. Vrabel was up to here with him. But Herbert having 1 pass attempt in the 4th quarter is insane. And to expand on that, As I was frustrated. Oh yeah, sorry. I now do know what Titter on Mike was asking me about, because he was blaming the OC, and I was probably referring to the fact that Herbert had to throw out a third and long all the game. That's probably the OC's fault. You're right. You're right. But when you see the magic that Herbert can do improvising, like that's where it happens, man. The big plays we make are when we just give him the ball and let it magic flow. This is a Rivers house. This is a Rivers house. This is House River. My baby girl's middle name is River. This is House River. We spent too much goddamn time in that foxhole together. This is House River. But you got to ask yourself, people, if that's what I fell for last time, how hard am I going to fall for this time? Hard. Even my wife, she doesn't give a shit. She just wants me to be happy. If the Chargers win, I'm happy. But she watches. We go. She likes going to the games when we go. Few and far between. Excited. The Raiders are in Oakland once a year for the rest of my life. That's pretty exciting. No, that doesn't mean I'm going to see the Chargers in Oakland every year for the rest of my life, or in Las Vegas. But when I feel like, hey, it's time to do Vegas, even with my wife, like, no, let's do it, and let's see when the Chargers are there, and let's make it work. Because I was always afraid to be in Oakland. I've seen the Chargers play everywhere. Oakland was never an option. I was never going there. Ever. Ever. I've heard these horror stories. I don't want to get shanked. I understand things, and I know it's just not going to be the same in Vegas. Stadium swanky, things will work. You get the tickets, you're fine. I can enjoy a Charger Raider game. I went to 2 Charger games in a span of 4 days once in San Diego. That happens. You play Sunday, then you host Thursday. I was there for Christmas. It would have been this time a handful of years ago. They played the Packers on the Sunday at home, and then the Raiders on the Thursday. The Sunday, family friendly, like there's just a vibe. Like, okay, I don't want to call an NFL game family friendly, but a friendly vibe, just a nice day. Like, just good vibe. Tons of Packer fans. As any game they travel and versus the Chargers, whether it be in LA or San Diego, the crowds are heavily road teams. But it was just a joyous mood around. 4 days later, same stadium, same weather. We're playing the Raiders, and it's just like a dark vibe. Like a vibe is around you. It's in the air. The Raiders do that. Their fans, more or less, do that. And I've been on those Vegas casino floors watching football in the sports book when the Raiders were playing before they were ever announced to be a Vegas team. Vegas was a Raider town always. The Southwest is all Raider town. So they'll still have their crazies. I don't doubt it one bit, but I'll actually feel safe enough to attend the game. Because Vegas, if it's one thing, it's like not going to have like people are going to be able to go to the NFL experience safely. Something that couldn't be insured in Oakland. And I once saw on an Outside the Lines, they were talking about, how dangerous it is at some venues in sports. And Outside the Lines, that famous ESPN show, that's great. It might have been canceled. That I don't need to explain it to you. You either know it or you know it. And the upper bowl at halftime of a Chargers-Raiders game in Oakland, the washroom of the upper bowl in Oakland was ranked as the 3rd most dangerous place in sports. And they specifically used versus the Chargers as an example. So there's that. So I never went to Oakland. I don't want to die. Rivers house is a Rivers house. Even my wife, we watched some of the game together last night. Herbert, when the play breaks down, he extends it and he makes a play. And she's watched enough football to know, yeah, Philip couldn't do that. Even like when Philip was in his prime. Now, if Herbert can be great and be my quarterback for as long as Phillip, I'll love him forever and be amazing. I'm not here to compare them, but just a strengths and weakness. Like when the play broke down with Phillip, there wasn't really a second life to the play. So it's exciting as a fan of a team to have that finally. And a quarterback that can like maybe run for a first down here or there. So I've enjoyed that, and that is exciting. And now we'll keep going through the NFL board. Let's see some more questions. Justin's asking me what's my favorite bet of the week. My super locks, which are, what week is this? Fine, what, 9? So I'd probably be 9-5. 9-5 on my super locks this year on the PME show, which is our favorite bets of the week. We each pick one. I took the Chiefs. I can go look what that number is at this moment. Yeah, I took the Chiefs. I got it at 2.5 when I locked it in. There's still some 2.5s looking at ftmbets.com. 2.5s minus 120. You're asking me, Chiefs win a game, Chiefs win short. I like it. That's my favorite bet of the week. Where were we? What other game? Tampa and Atlanta. I think Tampa's probably going to go train on Atlanta. Indianapolis versus the Texans. It seems like this is favorite radio because I like Indianapolis in that one. I really would like to lay 7 points. I am keen on Washington this week. No, sorry. Oh my God, I like all the favorites. There's a problem. I'm just trying to recall who I picked on the podcast, but it seems like I had a lot of favorites this week, which is definitely a bad thing. You got to gamble with the life vest this week, friends. Bring a life jacket. It's Christmas. You don't want to ruin Christmas a week before Christmas. That would really suck. That would really suck. Week before Christmas. Don't want to lose all the bets. Can't lose all the bets. But no, I do like the Colts are getting serious right now. And Houston, I saw Cooks was downgraded again. Deshaun Watson, Mayo mentioned it, without Fuller, has one passing touchdown a game in his career on average in games without Fuller. In the 2 games he has played without Fuller this year, he has one passing touchdown a game. Watson is amazing. Watson is a super elite. But Fuller really makes that offense tick. And now Cooks is banged up. They cut Kenny Stills. Someone else is hurt down there. I'm not liking it. Indy's ready. Indy's feasting. Houston's ready for the finish line. Houston played with a lot of, they fired their coach. They brought the effort for an extended period of time midseason, but this is a team that's just, I think it's over. I think it's over for them this year. Like even from an effort standpoint, I don't expect to see it. We saw them fumble. Was that against the Colts at the goal line? Trying to recall the game, right? And Watson was pretty emotional. That I think was their draining end moment of the season. They fought hard through the coach fire after it. We're happy to see him gone, but Indy's going to stomp him. That Indy defense is so strong, and Jonathan Taylor is absolutely humming this moment. He seems to have finally looked like the back he was through the first couple weeks of the season that got us all excited. 3 straight impressive performances. I'm going to be using him in DFS this week. A price point is $7,200 on DraftKings. Playing Houston. You know who's worse than Detroit? I mentioned I love Henry in all fantasy setups this week. Duh. Pizza's good. You like Derrick Henry, Fienberg? Yeah, I like Derrick Henry and I like pizza. Thanks for the tip. Didn't tell you anything you shouldn't already know. Pizza's good. Derrick Henry's good. Derrick Henry goes against the second worst rushing fantasy points defense in the league, and Jonathan Taylor goes against the absolute worst in Houston. So there's that. Indy will like to just control the game, keep it on the ground. Taylor's in for another huge game. In my home league, I have drafted Cook first overall. Sorry, not first overall, first round. And got Nick Chubb shortly after, clearly. And I have Jonathan Taylor, and we don't have a flex. We only start 2 running backs. And I'm real tempted to go Taylor over Chubb, although I don't have the balls to do it, and I won't be doing it. because the Browns are going to unload, right? Baker is going to go off. Freddie Kitchens calling the plays. Garrett's got COVID. I think the Browns are going to explode these guys on Sunday night. That's just my opinion. Mike McCoy, not Mike McCoy, another shitty ex-coach for the Chargers. That's the thing. I like Tom Telesco. I think he's a pretty strong GM. I do like the overall makeup of the Charger roster. If some things could be settled, he's done a good job executing picks that I don't think were no-brainer picks. The Joey Bosa pick wasn't a no-brainer pick. It was third overall, but it wasn't a no-brainer pick. Actually, you want to be perfectly honest, not many people had Bosa going to the Chargers there at all. I thought they would select Jalen Ramsey. They probably wouldn't have been wrong had they done that, but excellent pick in Joey Bosa. That was not an obvious pick. It was kind of an unknown as to what the Chargers should do. Derwin James in the middle of the draft, fantastic pick. You could say it was obvious, but I don't know. That's a nice pick. Justin Herbert, I guess in many ways it was obvious the Chargers were going to take a quarterback, but a lot of people out there didn't think if they weren't able to get Tua or Burrow that they shouldn't be investing in Justin Herbert. So that's like borderline. It was probably an obvious pick. We're going to call that an obvious pick. But he just selected Justin Herbert. If they want to keep Telesco, they can keep him. That being said, sir, you have hired Mike McCoy and now Anthony Lynn. So as much as I hate Anthony Lynn, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? What do you do? Well, you've got to work backwards and you have to ask yourself an important question. How did Lynn get here? How was he dropped into our lives? That's you, Tom. A lot of talk that Dabo, which I love Dabo out of Buffalo. Him and Telesco went to high school together in Buffalo. There's some ties there. They have the same agent. If we fire Lynn, that's a dot I would love to connect. I'd be smitten to connect it. Smitten to connect that dot. Okay, people. You're still watching. I'm going to wrap this up in a few minutes or quite shortly, but let me ask you, which fantasy defense would you rather roll this week? San Francisco at Dallas or Indianapolis versus Houston? Because that's really the only fantasy stardom sit-em that I'll have to make personally in my big home league semi. I do like San Francisco in that game. Dallas really took it to Cincy last week in the Dalton revenge game. But I think San Francisco gets themselves off the mat here in this one. I'm actually expecting Ayuk to have a pretty big game. He'll be chalky, but I think it's still smart chalk, if you want my honest opinion. Like, just because he's chalky, I don't think it'll make him a bad pick. The price point is so reasonable on DraftKings at $6,300. And in his last 4 games played, he has 10, 9, 14, and 16 targets. And Debo's out. So that's what I like. I like San Francisco. That's also probably one of my highlighted bets for me headed into Sunday here. Boom, boom, boom. Irv Smith. I do like Irv Smith a lot. Charlie asking me in the chat. He had a nice week last week, back from injury, 4 catches and 63 yards with the touchdown. The Bears give up the 4th most points to fantasy tight ends this year. From a pay down option, there weren't many others that excite me. So I do like Irv Smith. You could make a case. Maybe we're later in a year. Defenses are show me Jefferson, show me. We're still going to make sure Thielen doesn't beat us. We're still making sure Thielen doesn't beat us. Come on, Rook. Well, the Rook took him. And now the Rook is probably going to get a lot of attention coming down the home stretch. I think there could be opportunities here for Irv Smith. I had some things on instant recall there, so obviously I've written him up and some other stuff I had done for this week. I am in on Irv Smith. PrizePicks.com. Promo code FTN, 100% instant match bonus up to $100. We do not have the full slate of Sunday games up skill position players, the quarterbacks are up. But if they wanted to post a Nerve Smith, that's something I would definitely be intrigued at what potential numbers are out there, because as I just mentioned, I do like Irv this week, but I've kept my power play simple, friends. Two-man entry for tomorrow. Drew Lock over 17.5. I do like the Bills to win the game, but I still believe Denver, as they're currently constructed, will be able to get the nibbles off the Buffalo defense, who can still you can still be attacked in certain ways and probably not on the ground, in my opinion, when they're healthy in that front seven. So I like Drew Lock to clear that 17.5 point projection. And in the later game tomorrow, I'm going to go with DJ Moore, back healthy off the COVID list, to clear his 3 point projection, as they'll have to keep up with the Packers and MVP candidate, super all-star Aaron Rodgers. Trying to think of something interesting to say about Rodgers, but like sort of talking about some other players. Talking about Aaron Rodgers being good is talking about pepperoni pizza being good. You don't got to do it. People just know. Prize Picks, prizepicks.com, promo code FTN, 100% instant match bonus up to $100. It's you versus the projection. You go multi-sport, pick a football, pick a couple football entries for your power play, mix it up with some UFC. Tons of fun always can be had this weekend. Prize Picks, prizepicks.com, promo code FTN. I am Geoff Fienberg. I am out. Everybody have a great, safe weekend as we are in the holiday season. Be kind. That's my closing message.